Okay, so we're starting a new unit, and it's going to be on circle. We're going to be doing circles twice this year. All right, this is the first time we're going to do it. Um, Give me a second to get everything straightened out here. Like I said, everything's got messed up over the break. Okay. This is what we're going to do today and day. Well, we're going to do both these things throughout the week, but this is mainly vocabulary. And then the next part we're going to do is what are called central angles. Okay. And this is going to be, well, this is going to be the math. All right. This is going to be, whereas that's mainly just vocabulary. So, but before we go too far or too deep, um, I want everyone to know that I've posted two new IXL assignments in the announcements page. As we go through, this is the two that I put up are for these two, okay? And as we move on through this unit, I'm going to add more assignments. So just keep your eyeballs on that announcement because I'll be adding to it. I'll let you know when I add to it though. Okay. All right. So let's talk about parts of circles. So I'm going to draw, let's see if I can draw a big one here. All right. And I'll do a couple. All right. So we already know about the center of a circle, right? And we know, so that's the diameter. And we know that that's a radius. Okay. And then there's a couple other pieces of vocabulary in here as well. I'm going to draw them in here too. I don't want to do it all on one because it'll look all complicated and it'll be messy looking. Okay. So if we have a segment that goes through a circle, but it doesn't go through the diameter, like something like this is called a chord. All right. And if you have something that goes through a circle and leaves the circle, this is called a secant. All right. You pronounce this as C can't. Okay. And so for those of you who play music, um, a chord is like when you strum like multiple notes at the same time on a guitar, or you hit multiple keys on a keyboard. Okay, that's the same word. Okay. And now finally the last one, this is called a tangent. That's how you pronounce it. It's two syllables, tangent. And a tangent is what happens when you have a segment that just touches the circle on the outside. Okay. It only touches at one point. It doesn't go through it like a secant does. It kind of just rests on it, if you think about it that way. Let's take a second, copy all that. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up when you copied all that down. Okay, just give everybody a few seconds here, a little longer. All right. Okay, now there's a couple more pieces of vocabulary. I just didn't want to fit it all in that one tiny little picture. So when we have two radii like that, kind of like Mr. Pac-Man, or Miss Pac-Man, or whatever, or a piece of pizza, or a piece of a pie, or something like that. When we're talking about this area, you need to fill it in so that you know what you're talking about. When that's all filled in like that, this is called a sector. Okay. Now I'm going to use a bigger circle, I think, for this next part. All right. Okay. So I'm making mine a little bigger so it's a little easier to see. And I'm going to draw 3 dots on it. Put them anywhere you want. It doesn't matter. And I'm going to give them names. I'm going to call this A, B, and C. Now, an arc is a piece of a circle. All right, it's just the outer edge. Okay. Now, if I wanted to talk about this, okay, so I'm going from A to B, or if I went the other direction, from B to A, okay? The name of that is AB, but you draw an arc over top of it, okay? You remember when we were doing segments that, and rays and lines, and, there was always that little symbol above it that told you what you were dealing with, okay? So AB is the shortest path between A and B. Now, if I was talking about the other arc, the one that goes all the way around the circle. Okay, the other piece. That one, I'm going to give it a slightly different name. If I can get a different colored marker. All right. If I'm talking about this giant arc, okay, the big guy. This guy has a name that's a little different. This goes from A, you got to watch me on this one, okay? From A, goes through C, and lands on B. So it uses 3 letters. Now, both of them are arcs, and both of them start at A and end at B. The only way that you can tell which one we're talking about, is it 2 letters or is it 3? Okay. If it's 2 letters, this is what we call a minor arc. And if it's got 3 letters, it's the big one. And this is called a major arc. Okay. So it just depends upon what piece of the circle am I talking about. Am I talking about the little guy or am I talking about the big guy? If it's little, it's got a small name. If it's big, like all the way around, it's got a bigger name. Okay. Now, by the way, if there was another point in here, like call it G, it doesn't matter. It wouldn't matter if I used G or C. It wouldn't, because it would still be saying, hey, go to A, start at A, and then go all the way through it to get to B. So the middle letter isn't really, I mean, it's important that it's there, but it doesn't matter which one I use because I'm still talking about the same arc. Okay. All right. Before we go too far into this, scale of 1 to 5, how do we feel about all this, ladies and gentlemen? Okay. So if I wanted okay, let me ask you this. What is the name of that? And you can just use the word arc and then give me the letters. It is a minor arc, that's true, but what's its name? Okay, yeah. Now I'm getting answers coming in. That's good. So this is arc PR. Now, if you were writing it down, you would write it down like that. Okay. But if you were saying it to me in the chat, you would just type in arc PR. Okay. So what is that one called in blue? Okay. What's another name for it? Yeah, this is arc PQ, or you could call it QP, right? Okay, that goes both ways. Now, last one. What if I wanted this arc? What's that one called? Good. All right, keep it up. We'll get some more answers in here. Okay. Good. You could have used QRP, arc, or you could have said, and it would have been fine, PRQ. Remember, it has to be an arc. Okay. All right. Cool. All right. Now, let's do this. See if we're paying attention. What is that? What is the name of TS? Or I would say TS is a blank. You fill in the blank. So far, so good. Good answers in the chat. See if I can get some more people. Okay, good. Good. It is a secant. That's right. That's supposed to be in the center. P is the center. Yeah, this is a radius. Okay. Good. Let's see if we can do this. Oop. And how about okay. So in the chat, give me the name of a diameter. All right, this is what we were doing last time. A segment, and I think a lot of people are trying to tell me this, LN is the segment. 3 letters are never used for a segment. Okay, diameter is LN. If you put the M in there, then it doesn't make any sense. Can't have 3 letters on a segment. Only got to be 2. Okay. Give me a radius, or give me every radius you can think of. Okay. Good. I'd like to have a couple more answers in here, guys. Come on. Okay. So a radius starts at the center and goes to the edge. So you could say LM. What's another one? Right. Going the other way, MN. Okay, those are your radii. All right, give me a secant. Okay, yeah, a secant starts at the edge and goes through the circle. Okay. What about a tangent? Remember, a tangent just touches it once, just sits on it. Yeah, RP. And what about a chord? Yeah, a chord is just connecting 2 points on a circle. Okay, and that's LP. Okay. How do we feel about all this naming stuff? Give me a scale of 1 to 5. All right. Okay. So now let's talk about arcs and angles. All right. So how many degrees if you went all the way around the circle? How many degrees is a whole circle? Somebody unmute and say it out loud. We all know.
360.
Yes. Okay. So if I told you if I said that LR, and we use this little m out in front, okay? So with that little m, that says the measure of, okay? So when I put that little m out in front, that tells me I'm talking about how big it is. What is its size? If I don't have the m in front of it, then I'm talking about the thing. You know, if you guys remember, we dealt with this a little bit before when we talked about like a segment and how long is the segment. You know, a segment is a thing, but it could be 3 inches. Okay, one of them is the object, and one of them is how big it is. So if I told you that LR is 70 degrees, what you should do is you should write that down right next to it. This is an important problem-solving technique where you write down the things that you know on the picture. You draw on the picture. Okay. Now let me ask you this question. What is the measure of RTL? So let's think about this for a second. If this piece of it is 70, okay, and I'm asking you how big is RTL? Now remember, that's got 3 letters. So it goes from R through T all the way to L. Now, we're talking about 2 parts of the whole circle, right? Well, if this much is 70, how much is the whole thing again? You told me once before. Right. If the whole thing is 360, and I'm taking away this piece of it, how much is left?
$290.
Yeah, right. Because it's 360 because it's a whole circle. Take away the part that you don't want. Does that make sense? A lot of it comes down to knowing what the language is. You know, what's the symbols? What do the symbols mean? You know? So let me ask you this. So we got this guy copied down. Okay. What if I asked you this question? What if I said that this was 40 degrees? Okay. And I wanted to know what was AP. So let's look at the picture. One thing that's different about this picture is that I've got this segment AC. What is AC called again? Somebody just unmute and say it out loud. What's AC? What kind of a segment is that?
Diameter.
Right. It goes through the center. Usually, by the way, guys, in a picture, like if they want to make sure that you know that it's a center, that it's a circle with that it's the center of the circle, they'll make a really big dot so that everyone can see it. Right. It's because it's a special point, you know. So if this is a diameter, we're talking about 1/2 of the circle is on this side and 1/2 of the circle is on that side, right? So if I wanted to say, if this is half of a circle, how big is half of a circle?
$180.
Right. So if this is 180, you can think about it like this. That whole big giant thing that I just ugly drew, because I didn't use any, tools on it. If this is 180, how are we going to find this part that I'm looking for? You tell me. Put your answer in the private chat. Okay, good. Everyone who's put stuff in there so far has gotten it right. Good. So we started with 180 and we took away the part we didn't want. And that left us with 140. So that's how big this guy is. Okay. Now, maybe you didn't see it that way. Maybe you were thinking of it in a different way. So I'm going to do it one more time. You don't have to copy it twice, but I don't want to make the picture any messier than it is. But just watch, okay? You could do this problem in a different way and it would be just as good. So just give me a second and I'll redraw it. Don't copy it again. Just watch. Okay, so if maybe you didn't look at it that way, maybe you said to yourself, okay, that's a diameter. And by the way, if you see a diameter, you should, realize that it's probably going to be part of the problem. Okay, always look out for diameters because diameters are important. You know how I was saying earlier, I said, like this, if this is half the circle, then this part is 180 and this part is 180. Well, you could have done it like this. Well, you could say that this whole guy right here is 180, right? And now you would say, well, the whole circle is 360. And I'm going to take away the two parts I don't want. And you'd still get 140. Okay. That's the big takeaway idea, ladies and gentlemen, is that the whole circle's 360. Half a circle is 180. And things are either going to add up to a whole circle or add up to half a circle. Okay? Just looking at the pictures. So now, what about oops. Oh. So think about this one and find me my x. Good, 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 good. I'm liking the answers, ladies and gentlemen. I like them. I like them. All good stuff. All good stuff. Nice. So the idea in this problem was that we started with a whole circle, and I taking out these two parts so that I just am left with that one. And so you would say the whole circle minus the two pieces. And that is 40 degrees. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to give you one with lots of pieces. Okay. Oh, sorry. I want to make my pictures nice and big so that it's easier for you to see them. Okay. This one's a little bit nastier. I did something different in this one. Looking pretty good, ladies and gentlemen. Keep it up. Looking good. See if we can get one more person to answer. Okay. So the tricky part on this one was that I threw in that symbol. And if we remember, that's the symbol for a right angle. So if that's 90 degrees, this is 90 degrees. And so now I take the pieces I don't want away from the whole circle. And I get 184. So that one was a little trickier. It had more parts in it, right? Okay. Oh, let's see. This one. Well, how do we feel about all this so far? Are we all right? Scale of 1 to 5. What are we doing? How are we doing? Okay. How about I'll try. I'll do this one. Remember, I told you to look for diameters. So I've got some diameters in this picture, and I'm going to use them. Don't guess. You can do it. And you're right. So this problem had some extra things in it. Okay. I've got this diameter right there. And so I don't really even need this little radius right here. I can just cover that up if I wanted to. And there I have it. I have half a circle. And so I have a half a circle, so that's 180. I take away the 100 and I take away the 55, and that leaves me with the piece I want, which is 25. Okay. Now, Now I'm going to start asking you some interesting questions. How big is y? Okay, yes. It's the same for the same reason. If you looked at it like this, it's the same half circle. Taking away the 55 and the 100 gives me the same number on the other side. But you could also, if you were looking at it really carefully, that's too light, you can't see it. What do we call these two angles? There's a name for that kind of a pair of angles. If anybody can remember anything that happened in 2020.
Vertical.
Yes, those are vertical angles. Good. And vertical angles are what? What do we know about all vertical angles?
Congruent.
They're congruent. And since these are the same size, that tells me that these two, so if I know that this is 25, I know that that one is 25. Okay. So all that stuff that we tried to learn is coming back. I know everyone forgot everything. Like, I get it. Like, we didn't have a lot of snow, but you know, you get amnesia when snow comes. I've seen it happen for years. All right, last question. How big is Z? Good. Getting good answers in the chat. Yeah, and you could do this in lots of ways. Okay, there's a lot of parts to this that all kind of that all fit together. If you wanted to, you could close your eyes to half of the circle and say, well, these two pieces have to make 180. So you could do 180 minus the 25, and that gives you 155. But if you're sneaky, you see this angle? It's the same as those two, which is why it's 155 added together to make 155, because it's a vertical angle. That's right. Okay. And if you didn't get any of that, you could have added everybody up and subtracted them all from one whole circle to get the one piece you need. Okay. All right. That one had a lot of stuff in it. Okay. Okay. Are we doing okay? We still breathing in and out, and everyone's alive and happy? All right. Okay, so now we got to find x. So you got to make a equation out of it all. So I've got 3 pieces of a circle. And all of this, the whole circle is 360. So what you need to do is you need to make an equation. You're going to take each part, add them all up, and say that the whole circle is 360. So add this, and add this. And if you added up all of them together, it would be one whole circle, which is 360 degrees. So if you move things around like I told you to, this will be the last question for the day, I think. Two x, 3x, and x. I'm going to take these guys and move them over where they belong. Remember when they change the sign, when they cross the line, they change the sign. All right. So you got two sets of problems to work on in iExcel. They're already posted on the announcements. So go on ahead and knock those out quickly while your brain's still fresh. And I will see you all on Thursday. Have a great day, everybody. See ya.
Bye.
Take it easy. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Jalen, Isaiah, you got questions? Okay.